What's up, everybody? Finesse University at you with another one. So college is very expensive. Some people can pay for it outright if you got it like that, but the majority of people are taking out student loans to go to school. And I'd say the majority of people don't understand what those student loans are or how they work or the interest rates. They're just pulling up to the financial aid office, signing some papers, and here we are. We're in school. But little do they know that they just borrowed $25,000 to get that degree and that experience. And they could have used that $25,000 to buy equipment for their business or to put a down payment on a house. But they're making the decision to use it to invest in themselves and in their education. School is pretty much a big business loan. You're borrowing $50,000, $60,000, $80,000, taking on debt, in the hopes that will increase that knowledge and experience and degree will increase your earning power over the next 50, 60, 80 years. So you'll be earning 20% more than you would earn if you didn't go to school, and it will be a net benefit. So in this video, I'm going to break down how you get your school paid for. There's a bunch of different kinds of loans, but I'll go over the loans that you'll most likely be taking out and be dealing with when you're going into college. So when you're going into college, you're going to have expenses. There's a set of things that you got to get paid for, and the university is going to send you a bill at the beginning of every semester, and you have to get that covered or you're not going to school. So that's going to include your tuition, big chunk, your housing, your food, your technology fees, activity fees, parking fees, all these fees. You're going to have these expenses that you have to get paid. Now, in order to pay them, like I said, if you have cash, you just pay for it cash, $20,000, pay the school, it's over with. But for most people, you're going to have to take out different kinds of loans. You're going to have to get scholarships, apply for scholarships, and state grant money. But I'm going to go over the main kinds of loans right now. So your standard loan that most students are going to be taking out first is going to be your unsubsidized federal loan. So what that is you're borrowing money from the government. You progressively, as your standing in the class gets higher, you can borrow more money. So it starts out at like $4,500 as a freshman, and sophomore $55, junior like $75. I think it tops out after junior year. So junior plus, you're maxed out at like $75. I'm not sure if those are the exact numbers. I'll make sure to link that in the description. But that's going to be your standard loan that you take out. The counterpart to the unsubsidized federal loan is going to be your subsidized federal loan. And what subsidized means is that the government is going to subsidize your interest payments while you're in school. So with a subsidized loan, you take the money out September 3rd, they distribute the money to you into your account and pay for your school. Say it's $5,000. The government's going to subsidize those interest payments, so while you're in school, interest isn't accruing. So 4 years later, when you graduate, that $5,000 that you just borrowed is still going to be $5,000. With the unsubsidized loans, the first loans that we went over, as soon as you take that money, or as soon as they distribute that money to you, interest is growing. So say you borrow $5,000 with an unsubsidized loan on September 3rd, on September 4th, that $5,000 is now going to be $5,000.01. The day after that, it's going to be $5,000.03, and so on and so on. So now once we get the unsubsidized and subsidized loans out of the way, which are going to be your main loans, and subsidized loans are income-based loans, by the way. So not everybody can qualify for the subsidized loan because it's better because the government pays for the interest. It's an income-based loan, so If you're a dependent on your parents' tax return and your parents' income is above a certain threshold, then you don't qualify for the subsidized loan. If you're an independent on your own tax return, if your personal income is over a certain threshold, you don't qualify for the subsidized loan, and the government doesn't give you those interest payments. So once you have your subsidized, unsubsidized loans out of the way, now we're looking into your scholarships and your state grant money, because we have to get these expenses taken care of. And a lot of times your those subsidized, unsubsidized loans, that's not going to cover it off the bat. So we're going to need to get scholarships and state grant money. Scholarships are very important. There's a bunch of different ways to get scholarships. If you're playing sports, you're in high school right now, you're in college, ball out, make sure you're in contact with your coaches and make sure you're telling them, hey, look, I need the scholarship money, or to show them by your work ethic on the field. You got to make sure because people don't look at scholarship money like real money. Like, you get a $5,000 per semester scholarship in college and you're just like, oh, whatever, that's not enough. That's whatever, I don't care. But it's important, because that's $5,000 that you're not going to have to pay back later. Like, that's real $5,000 that is going to be eliminated from your total bill. And there's other scholarships, not just sports scholarships. A lot of schools have their own scholarship portals where you can go onto the website and they have a list of scholarships that are given by alumni. There's big scholarship websites, scholarships.com. Just look for it it's all on Google. Just look for it on Google. But make sure you're making your best attempt to get as many scholarships as you can. So we still have these expenses. You got your loans and your scholarships. Now we're getting into the state grant. Now I'm from Pennsylvania, so we have PHEA, PHEAA. That's our state grant program, and they pay you money. It's income based, so if your income's above a certain threshold, you're not going to get as much money. If you're low income, you'll get more money. But that grant money, state grant money that they give you, is you don't have to pay that back. So you want to make sure that whenever you fill out your FAFSA, whenever the FAFSA time is, and your FAFSA is your federal aid form, and that's how they determine how much money you need and how much money you qualify for with the federal loans. But whenever you're doing that FAFSA application, a lot of times your state grant program application will be included within the whole FAFSA process. And that's free money. First come, first serve. So the earlier that you apply for that state grant money, free money, the better chance that you have to actually qualify for some, and you'll be able to qualify for more, as opposed to you waiting until the day before the deadline. There might not be as much money out there for the state to grant you. So we got our loans, scholarships, state grants. Say our bill was $30,000 for the semester, and we only have $20,000 in all that stuff that we just went over. So now we have to find a way to get $10,000 more dollars. The first way that we're going to look for, or the most common way, is going to be your PLUS loans. And these are federal loans. If you're an undergrad, you're going into to get your bachelor's, that's going to be a Parent PLUS loan. So the loan is going to be in your parents' name. Your parents going to be the one responsible for paying the loan, and they're going to have to go through a credit check and a credit screening in order to qualify for the loan. So say your parents not making enough money, or they have a messed up credit history, they might not be able to qualify for that loan, and now we'll have to go into other private lenders like Sallie Mae, or really any bank that gives student loans. Now we'll have to go and borrow from a private bank. But with the PLUS loans, back to the $20,000, they'll cover the rest of your cost of attendance. So say you owe $30,000, that Parent Plus or the Grad Plus for graduate students loans will cover the rest of the cost of attendance, whatever it is, but you have to pass the credit check in order to qualify for that loan. Cost of attendance is kind of a iffy, not a solid thing. Like a lot of schools will have on their websites an estimation of what your cost of attendance should be. It'll be like $35,000, and it'll be itemized. So it's $5,000 for tuition, $6,000 for room and board, books and supplies, travel, all that stuff. It'll be an estimation of that, but really, you can borrow more than what that number is. So they say it's 35, but you might have an argument that you need 40,000, like you need to borrow $40,000 because you got your car takes 93 octane gas, and you got to feed your cats and your dog, whatever the reason may be. You can borrow more than what that cost of attendance is, and the extra $5,000 you borrow is going to get distributed into your bank account, which is where the refund checks come. So any amount that you borrow with your unsubsidized, subsidized loans and your grants and your scholarships and your plus loans, all that stuff, any amount that's over your cost of attendance is going to get distributed back to you in a refund check into your bank account. Now, these things are very powerful, can be very powerful. Now, there are people who piss away their refund checks. They spend it on booze and Fortnite skins and fucking dominoes every other night. But they can be a very powerful thing if you invest it into yourself. If you could go out and go out and get the new release Jordans and flip them for $50. Get 5 pairs, $50, $250 with that big amount of capital that you have sitting in your checking account. Or you could go and try out the stock market, learn technical analysis, go buy some undervalued companies that you think, or just go play around in the waters, start to invest, try to make some money with that cash. You got all the cash, you got buying power. Now we got to put that buying power into action instead of just pissing it away or letting it sit in your bank account. Now you want to be smart with that. You don't want to invest into something you don't know about, lose all of it, and now you can't pay your bills, you can't pay your rents, or you actually can't pay for the cost of attendance. But you want to be able to maneuver with that money to get the best return on your investment, because you're borrowing all that money. You want to get returns on that money. So be smart with the refund checks. That's pretty much that's how you get your school paid for. Your subsidized, unsubsidized loans, your plus loans, scholarships, grant money, private loans if that doesn't cover everything else, and that's about it. So if you got any value out of the video, give me a thumbs up, leave me a comment, let me know what you want to see. Like if you got an idea for a video for me, I'll do it. Just let me know, send me a message, or leave a comment down below, and I'll get back to you soon.